Hi friends, welcome back to another garden tour video. This is week 2 of our summer garden and I'm so excited to show you the progress we have made in the past week. Now if you didn't see week 1 of the summer garden, make sure you go check it out. I can link it down below for you. It will be in the Homestead Garden playlist as well, where I will be putting all of these. But we have made some major progress this week and I think y'all are going to be super proud. So we'll start walking into the garden, but wait, before we enter in. We are up front by the strawberries, and this little mound here was not put here on accident. This is actually our winter squash. I have buttercup up here in front of the strawberries. It is in front of both strawberries there. I say strawberries, but the truth is I still haven't seen any strawberry plants come up, so I should just be saying sunflowers because they're basically sunflower beds now. And boy, are these sunflowers growing. Look, it's getting so tall. I'm so proud. Love it. Now, let's enter into my garden. I can't wait till those sunflowers grow up big and beautiful and just frame the entranceway. It's gonna be magical this summer, let me tell you. I do want to say this yarrow plant I have right here. I asked in last week's video if it would be a medicinal yarrow. It is a King Edward's yarrow. The consensus I have received is that it is a medicinal form, but it's a hybrid, so it's not as strong as a normal medicinal yarrow, but still got some medicinal properties if I need it. Our spearmint over here is looking lovely. Time to pinch off some more heads. I cannot get over the way fresh spearmint smells, and my rabbits love it. So, I'm going to stick that in a pocket on my apron to give to them at feeding time tonight. I need to get me a little harvest basket. I don't have one right now, but I need to get one. These tomato plants over here are looking a little wild and crazy, guys. I'm just going to trim off the bottom leaves. I'm gonna do something a little controversial here, so do what you want to do. But I'm leaving the suckers and trimming the leaf portion of the tomato plant. Just saying that's what I'm doing, guys. You don't have to do it. So before anybody asks, why am I doing this? Suckers will actually produce fruit. The leaf stems are less likely to produce fruit. They're just there for shade coverage, which we do need on our tomatoes, or they're gonna get damaged by too much sun. But the suckers will also produce shade leaves. I have to prune one of them because our humidity will cause disease on the tomatoes if they get big bushy with leaves. So I have to prune one of them. So why would I prune the suckers that's going to produce fruit versus the leaf stem that's only going to produce leaves? Now there may be a chance that one of these I'm cutting off may produce fruit at some point. It's possible. But the suckers are most likely to produce fruit. So I don't want to take those off because I want all the fruit I can get. That's something I've recently learned about and I'm giving it a go. Last year I pruned all my suckers. And this year I'm doing it the opposite. We'll see if I get a better harvest this year. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so do you see this sucker, how tall it is? This sucker will produce fruit. This is a leaf stem. I'm going to cut it off instead. I'm leaving the sucker. And then I left this sucker here and this sucker here and this sucker here. Another bonus is the sucker grows up where the leaf stem grows out and down. I don't want any stems that are drooping over to touch the ground because they're going to bring diseases in, like this one. See how this one is going down? I'm going to go ahead and snap it off. Okay, so now I have this main stem, it's got a sucker there. It's got a sucker there that will produce. That's one there that's got blooms on it. There's one there. There's another sucker down here. They're all growing up and they will all produce fruit, hopefully. Now look how much better my tomato plants look. More room to grow, less waste. So my lettuces are still doing beautiful, even though it's gotten very, very, very hot here. It was 90 degrees today. I'm gonna go ahead and harvest some of these lettuce leaves for dinner tonight. We're having raviolis with salad. So I'm super excited. We will harvest some of these. Again, I need a harvest basket to put my harvest in. It's just going to have to sit here until I don't finish my garden tour. And then I'll come back. I don't know if one of our wild little rabbits or something is out here eating my leaves up or what. But man, something is going to town on my little lettuces here. I did not do that. These are just eating to pieces. Goodness. Alright, well, I should have hopefully harvested enough salad greens for our dinner tonight. I'm super excited about that. We'll harvest some of this basil. This one is a potato plant. It is getting huge over here. Something has eaten the top off of it. Okay, and I'm just gonna give these San Marzano tomatoes a quick prune also. Cutting off all of my low-lying stems. Holy goodness, that stem right there has gotten huge. I'm gonna leave this one just because I'm curious of what it'll do. It's like coming from the bottom, but it's huge. We'll give it a little more room there. You know, like my little garden ties here, I have a YouTube Shorts video showing how I made these. They're just made out of an old t-shirt. They work. Now, unfortunately, rabbits can't eat tomato leaves, so that is why you do not see me collecting these for the rabbits. Oh my goodness. Y'all, I've never seen this happen before. Look at this. So my tomato plant right here, where I planted it sideways, these were suckers. They have developed into basically their own tomato plant because they're underground, and so they rooted themselves. I knew these needed to be pruned like a long time ago. I've just been putting it off. I always hate pruning my tomato plants. I know it helps. I know I need to do it, but I just hate doing it, cutting off part of a plant that I worked so hard for. But I've never seen one reroot itself quite that way to make basically its own little tomato plant. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that entire 2 suckers right there and watch them grow up and see how they do. We're gonna see together how they do, because that's interesting. Over here, my potato plants are doing beautifully. My pepper plants are getting a little shaded, but here in South Carolina, that's actually not a bad thing, because it actually gets so hot that our pepper plants need shade in the summer, or else they get sun blistering. So I'm interested to see how they do. These actually look really, really good, even though they're being shaded by the potatoes. They actually look better than some of my other pepper plants that aren't being shaded, so that's interesting. Okay, these are my ground cherries and my Beta Lux tomatoes. I will not be pruning either of these. The Beta Lux is a determinate tomato, so it only has so many tomatoes it's going to put off, and it's only going to get so tall. So I don't have to prune it. My beans here are starting to grow up nice. I can't wait to see them start trellising. These over here are my other pepper plants. As you can see, these are very, very small. This is my hot pepper bed. These pepper plants are still pretty small. They're not getting shaded by those other, like the potato plants are shading the other ones. So we'll have to keep an eye on them. They may get sun blistering. I don't really know what I'm gonna do to shade them, but we'll try to figure something out, or we'll just deal with it. not fun, but it happens. Especially down here in the south, we actually get too much sun for a lot of the peppers. We'll see how they do. I've recently added more rabbit manure earlier in the day today, so we'll see if that gives them the boost that they need. Over here, my little okra babies have made an appearance, and I co-planted sweet potatoes with them. These are, I don't even know what type of sweet potato variety. These plants weren't looking the best. They probably rooted a little too long, got a little too hot out in the sun, that sort of thing. Some of them have made a comeback, some of them haven't, so I'm just giving them time and seeing how it goes. I planted sweet potatoes with my okra so that the sweet potatoes will shade the bottom of the bed and kind of vine out to keep weeds from forming around my okra. So the okra will grow up on the trellis and I can tie it to the trellis as it gets heavy. And then the sweet potatoes will shade the bottom of the bed to keep weeds away. So we'll see how that goes. This is my corn bed, and I have lots and lots of little corn babies coming up here. I planted these, I don't know if y'all can see it, but I did kind of a square foot gardening method, and so they're planted one here, one here, one here, one here in a diamond in a square foot, and then in between those diamonds there's an additional one planted. So there's one here to make like another diamond. So it's like a continuous diamond pattern. All the way down, I got little corn babies. Now I did go through 2 days ago and plant my beans that I'm going to grow with my corn. I have pink painted lady beans, I think is what is in here, and then 1500-year-old cave beans. Both are runner beans, and they've just kind of been spread throughout the different corn patches. And so as the beans grow up, they can trellis up the corn. The nitrogen from the beans will feed the corn. In a few days I will plant pumpkins in here as well to shade out the weeds in this bed. So this is like a Three Sisters gardening bed. It will have corn, beans, and pumpkin. Now this is my other little okra bed, and I've got okra seedlings here too. And then I went ahead and planted sugar baby watermelons, one in each corner of this bed, and those will act as shade coverage for these okras. My parsley finally sprouted. I have little baby parsleys all over in here, so I'm super excited about that. Now last time I told y'all, I'm pretty sure this garden bed was empty. It is no longer empty. On this side, I planted dark green zucchini, and they have actually sprouted. I have little zucchini sprouts. I got little bitty zucchini sprouts coming in right there. And they're gonna trellis up. On this side of the trellis over here, I planted just some random tomato starts that I had left over. So I'm not even sure what all types of tomatoes I have in here. I just picked the best ones that were left over and planted them in this bed. I also randomly went through and planted nasturtiums and marigolds throughout my beds. They're just randomly planted in different beds. And then I planted other herbs in these pots. This one has catnip and marjoram in it. This one has calendula in it. This one has German chamomile in it. This one has lemon balm in it. And then we are now back over here at my other tomato bed. This is my beefsteak tomato bed. These are the ones I planted for the Dean Family Acres Tomato Challenge for this year. They are like wild and crazy. Trying to tie these things up was ridiculous because I waited way too long and they were vining on the ground. So my tip to you, if you're trying to tie up tomatoes way past the time you should have tied them up, tie them up loosely. Don't force them to change their shape, just tie them up loosely. Give them time and readjust your ties over the next several days to weeks to get them the direction they should be going. Mine look much better than they did, but they still look a little gnarly. So I'm going to go ahead and prune these while I'm over here. Same way I pruned all my other ones, cutting off the leaf and leaving the suckers. There we go. Alright, so we're down basically to one main stem and some suckers coming off of it. The problem with me pruning this way is that I didn't know about this pruning method when I planted these tomatoes, and I went through and pinched off all of the suckers that had formed at that time. I mean, that kind of sucks, but it is what it is, you know. I'm just going through and doing the best I can now. My garden helper is over here. See, Mommy has to cut these in a certain way, okay?
Okay. When they come in, when they eat, when we get it.
No, Mommy's doing them. Do you want me to give you a leaf?
Yeah.
Okay. Here you go.
And pick it up. And pick it.
Are you picking the leaves off? You can pick those leaves off.
Oh no, goodness.
Kind of hard to tell where the top of this tomato is.
Top in the middle.
Yeah, I don't know if I topped my tomato or not. We'll have to see.
I like leaves. I like leaves.
You like leaves?
Yeah, I like it. I like
it.
I'm picking the leaves off.
Okay, you can pick the leaves off.
What's this? Needle?
No, these are tomato leaves.
I read it. Rip it up.
You're ripping the tomato leaf off? Alright. Tomatoes are pruned. Okay, you want to go check out our beds over here? We haven't showed them those beds yet.
Yeah. Spinning.
Oh, our umbrella's spinning?
Yeah.
Do you like the umbrella?
I'm getting it. I'm spinning.
He's spinning, he says. Oregano and thyme over here look beautiful. We're making ravioli tonight, and these would go beautiful.
What's that?
In my tomato sauce. Mama's got to put these in her apron so we can put them in our dinner tonight.
And clip those? Clip them. Clip them?
I clipped some. So over here, I did get our pea starts planted. And they look like they need to start climbing.
Come out the tree.
Okay, buddy.
Come out the tree, Mom.
Yeah, it's a leaf.
Come out the tree.
Yeah, leaves come out of the trees.
Yeah.
Something is out here eating the tops off my pea starts. Tops are gone right off of that one. Probably a rabbit. We have lots of wild rabbits out here, in case you can't guess for me blaming everything on the rabbits. This right here is another pea bed. And you can see just the starts of some of my peas coming up. So that is my Cascadia piece. This is my dragon tongue bean bed, and I only have, one, two, three bean starts up so far. The rest of them have not sprouted up yet. So I don't know what's up with my dragon tongue beans and why they're not really sprouting. I planted this bed pretty full. I think it's got like 30 beans in it, and I've got 3 sprouted. Over here though, this bean bed has all kinds of sprouts coming up in it.
Yeah.
Wait, this is my dragon tongue bean. Okay, correction. This bed that has like 3 sprouts in it are not dragon tongue beans. These are Jacob's cattle beans and provider beans. The bed that has all of the little green sprouts coming up are my dragon tongue beans. So, there we are. This pot right here has cilantro and slow bolt cilantro in it. So it's got both of them in here, and it's in the shade. So hopefully that keeps it from bolting. Because I would love fresh cilantro. I love tacos, I love salsa, I love all that, and so I need fresh cilantro. My stevia plant is getting bigger. It is growing. So I'm super excited about that. Progress. Little stevia, you've made progress. Now this one is my runner beans. I've got the old Homestead, which I think was also called the Kentucky Wonder on this side. And I have several that have sprouted so far. I think they're almost all up, so I'm super excited about that. This other side, on the other hand, were my black coat beans, and I only have 1 little sprout out of this entire side. That's so sad. It's all alone. My lonely, lonely little black coat runner bean. My only sprout on this entire side. Looks like one is starting to peek its head up here, so won't be too long, and hopefully I'll have more to join it. Over here are my Cherokee Trail of Tear beans that I planted, and I have several that have sprouted. Super, super excited about that. These look to be growing beautifully. I'm loving it. Making major progress, guys. This garden is making some major progress. Let's see what else is making progress. My aloe plant! Guys, do y'all see it starting to turn green again? Can y'all see that? Look how green it is in the center. Oh my goodness. To everyone who let me know on my last video that the problem I was having with my aloe was that it was sunburnt from being out in too much sun, you saved my plant. I immediately moved it over into an area that gets mostly shade. I mean, it's got like partial sunlight coming through it, but it's mostly shade almost all day long, so indirect sun. And it is already starting to green up in less than a week. I'm so incredibly excited about how it's recovering. Y'all saved my plant. And y'all saved my redemption plant, because if you watched that last week's video, you know the story. And I thought I was going to lose it, but y'all saved it. So thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I'm so excited to see this thing turning green again. You want to go show them our potatoes now?
Yeah.
Potatoes and another confession time coming up. So can y'all see my beautiful green potato plants? These things are getting huge. I've continuously mounded over them to continue them growing. But I made a mistake. I took all of the shavings from our chicken brooder that had been sitting out for like almost 2 months composting. I added them in the heels of my potatoes. They weren't directly touching my potatoes or anything like that. But of course, after I did that, we had some massive rainstorms come through. And so all of the nitrogen that had not broken down in the bedding, even though I thought it would be pretty well broken down by then. No, it was a little hot still. Not completely. Like a lot of my potatoes are doing really good. But I had some potato losses from it. There was one potato right here. There's not anymore. So, give your chicken brooder bedding more than 2 months to break down, or else you're going to fry your potatoes with too much nitrogen. The only thing I could do to correct this issue was to go through and kind of add more mulch around with that to try to dilute the nitrogen in the area, added more carbon to it, stuff like that. It seems to have worked. They stopped turning yellow, they stopped dying on me, but the damage was already done for a few of them and they're not coming back. Let's dig it up and see if there's any potatoes there. You know, it's already dead anyways, might as well. So for the most part, they look big and beautiful still. I don't know if this one just got, I guess this is the chicken brooder bedding. So I guess, I know, buddy, it died.
There's something broke it.
No, it didn't even form a tuber.
Something broke.
Yeah, it just completely died on us. Didn't even have a tuber on it. And these behind it are not looking much better. That is so sad. I do have some little blooms that are starting to pop up. They haven't opened yet, but they are budding up, so I have hope that some of them are forming tubers, but this one, it's gone. Yeah, to be no more. Some of them are struggling, but for the most part, they did okay. Alright friends, well that was a short and sweet garden tour for this week and a how I'm pruning my tomatoes little tutorial as well, so bonus. But I'm excited to see the progress that we have made here in our garden. It's getting pretty, it's getting beautiful. I've got green popping up all over the place. I'm just ready for them to get bigger and start producing fruit. We're getting there though. Some of my tomatoes have buds on them. Now that I've pruned them, hopefully they'll bud up faster. And then some of the other ones, they're just growing right along. So hopefully in a month, maybe we'll have fruit coming in. It's awesome. Awesome, guys. If you don't know where we started and where I was last week, make sure you go back and watch that video. Make sure you watch next week's video to see how much farther we've come along and to see if I actually ended up planting my pumpkins, because that's still not done yet. Just see where we go. See where we go from here. Anyways, I hope you like my beautiful sun hat that I've got on here. I'm trying to keep the sun out of my eyes and my face, even though it's starting to set. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it is from Farmer's Defense, the same place I got my apron. They sent these to me to try out and to, you know, see how I like it. I do have a coupon code and stuff for them down below. If you like my hat and you want one like it, use my link, my code, and it gets you 10% off. So that's down in the description box. The apron I really do like, but I would let you know, order a size smaller on the apron than you think they need. I think it comes in like small, medium is one size, and then large, extra large is another size. I ordered the large, extra large, and it's a little big on me. I wish I would have went with a small, medium. Hold on, let me show y'all this. So it's got several pockets on it. Get my shears put away. It's got a shears pocket right here in the front, and then behind it is another pocket where I was putting my herbs. This pocket over here is bigger, and it's got a latch on it, and this is where I was putting the stuff that I'm feeding to the rabbits. It's got a clip on the side, and it is actually also a full-size apron.
Hey, it's pretty. It's pretty.
It's pretty. With another pocket up here.
You got another pocket?
Yeah, I got another pocket.
Yeah, up here.
That's for rabbits. That's a rabbit pocket, so Mama can put stuff for the rabbits. This one's empty. It can hold Mama's phone if she had it on her. It's pretty big. Like, so. Anyways, it's been a pretty nifty apron. I don't have anything to gather my garden produce in. I need to invest in something. So right now the apron is working wonders to let me do that. And to carry all my other little gadgets around with me, including whatever this one behind me is putting in my pockets. Probably a bunch of sticks. But yeah, that's my garden for the week. I've gotten quite a bit planted this week. I guess we're telling you bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, friends. We will see y'all later.
Turn it off.